Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is it.
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pa.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
Well, yeah, it's the Melchester Odyssey again. It's last week we had an attempt at it and we didn't get any further than the front cover. I feel as though we could do the front cover again. It's so good. It's this 21st of January 1984 issue. On the front cover itself is what you just described before we started recording as a homoerotic tableau.
Yeah.
Which I'm completely in agreement with. Roy wanders into the treatment room. We've got Taffy gently massaging the calf of Kenny Logan while Glenn Ritchie looks on with his towel just draped around his neck. Meanwhile, we think that Charlie Carter is being sucked off by Trevor Cassidy at the other side of the room.
Helping him relax, whatever it takes.
A jar of Vaseline or liniment or something.
The thing is in top flight football, like you'll always hear this from the elite coaches, it's the tiny margins.
That's exactly what it is,
right?
Yeah.
And if that means that your aging keeper needs a blowy at half time, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean,
or in the week,
or every day.
Yeah,
yeah. You don't want him. The difference between Charlie Carter reaching to tip a shot just over the crossbar with his balls full is,
if your balls are completely full, that might make a gravitation. It's a gravitational pull, isn't it? That could be. It could cost you, like, let's say, 0.5 millimetre. And some of the saves during this World Cup that's going on at the moment, like, when a shot goes in and you think it's just gone over, but then on the extra slow replay, you see like the goalkeeper has got the tiniest touch on it that has saved them the goal. Well, think on, because if the keeper,
Pickford did one. Pickford did one against Iran,
and I can guarantee you that Pickford would have emptied his pipes, cleaned out the pipes before the game, no doubt about it. And whether Gareth did that for him, or he had his assistant, that sort of intimidating guy who looks like a sort of a side character from an episode of The Sweeney, who is Gareth Southgate's assistant. I think his name's Steve Holland. Do you know the one I mean?
I've not seen him, no. I don't pay too much attention to it.
Next time, if you watch England, look at the geezer who's always sitting next to Southgate. He's like an intimidating guy who looks like either a henchman or one of the guys who, like in The Sweeney, they occasionally get in to help the cop. You know, like, oh, he's our driver today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He basically looks, he's a hard nut, and I don't know whether he's there to do the wank-offs. I know that, obviously, back in the noughties, that was very much Tord Grip's job for the so-called golden generation. Because, of course, he got the name. Tord Grip wasn't his real name. It just meant strong grip.
Strong grip,
and he got that name because he had a very robust wanking technique.
Yeah,
that he'd learnt in Sweden.
Didn't work out for them in the end, though.
No.
But Pickford, I imagine, will knock one out probably 3 hours before kick-off.
Yeah.
While the rest of the lads are having their pasta and chicken, and then probably maybe 10 minutes before kick-off, maybe using some kind of mechanical device, he'll go again, just to make sure he's completely drained before he goes out there.
Yeah.
But it's fine margins. That's what matters. So that's what's happening on the front cover. The entire forward line is injured. This is creating a problem for Roy. Taffy says, none of them are responding to treatment. There's no way they're going to be fit for our midweek game away against Rotherton. Roy says, I wouldn't arrest them anyway, Taff, not with the 4th round of the FA Cup only a week away. No, I mean, the 4th round of the FA Cup, these days, he'd put the reserves out. So that's different times, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's treating the FA Cup like it's important. And then he goes back to his office, which is all painted all green, with a green filing cabinet and a jarring bright blue telephone. And he hears some cheering from outside. Hooray! From the window. Hello? He says, hello? What's all that cheering about? And then we'll turn over into the colour pages inside and find out. Oh, talking about tough guys and henchmen and stuff like that. You probably saw the tweet I did the other day. where I was watching an episode of Minder, an early episode, and a tough guy in it was played by the actor who plays Howard.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and I thought, it makes perfect sense. It sounds weird, but when you see it, you think, of course, Howard does totally look like a tough guy, and it's testament to the actor. In fact, he's a more natural tough guy, but he played the sort of rather tepid and timid Howard in Ever to Grease in Circles. It was like quite a big challenge for him because he looks like a loony.
Ever Decreasing Circles is my favourite ever sitcom. Oh, the character he played as well was described as a very naughty boy. And he'd been done for attempted murder. But Terry used this against him to say that he couldn't even do murder properly and that he was a bit useless. But his name, the character's name, Chris Wilson.
Great name.
Oh, great name.
Great name. I'm going to make a note of that. Chris Wilson, lovely stuff.
Yeah, you might be able to use that at some point.
Yeah, we should start keeping a list of these good names.
Put them on the t-shirt. Roy looks out the window and there's a crowd gathering around someone like bees around a piece of jam that's been discarded. And he thinks, Rob Richards. A crowd of fans have nailed him to sign his autograph. There they are. All in very bright colours, I have to say. They're all brightly coloured. They look like they're from the fucking children's BBC, from Why Don't You or something like that.
Look like they're fucking auditioning to take over from Rod, Jane and Freddie on Bloody Rainbow, mate.
Yeah. I would see a close-up of it, and Rob is indeed signing an autograph. Rob Richards looks quite old, considering he's 18, and Roy is zoned in on who it is that he's signing the autographs for, and of course, it is the club cunt, Trevor Brinsden.
The last time the manager's looking out the window to see what's going on in a car park puts me in mind of one of the best moments in Roy Keane's book where he talks about Pablo Canugo.
Yes.
Because I think that's where This and That came from. Because Roy Keane was in his office at Ipswich and he heard something outside and he came angrily to the window. And I think he just saw Pablo Canugo sauntering in really late.
Yeah.
With one of them little wash bags under his arm. And Roy was out what the bloody hell tamed you car this? And that, I think, is when Pablo Canugo said simply, This and That.
Yeah, it was.
That's where This and That came from.
Relax, pussycat.
Come on, This and That. Where the hell have you been? What have you been doing, Pablo? This and That.
We're just coming for a little game of football. There's no rush. I join in a break in the game.
We play football anytime. It's no problem. It's not
fun.
It's not time sensitive.
It's not a job, is it?
We're playing a game here. Come on.
Children's game. Yeah, so Roy's looking down and it's Trevor Brinsden with the autograph book.
Do you like looking out windows? Like to spy on goings on?
And he's doing it the proper way as well. He's standing behind the curtain and having a little peep around the curtain.
My mate, when we were at university, he'd always be getting a mini cab round to his girlfriend's house, his sex cab, right? And we'd take the piss out of him because we lived in a first floor flat, and in his fucking like a granny, he'd call the taxi, and then he'd get all dressed and ready. You know, with his coat and everything and all his bits and bobs and his hat on. And then he'd sit at the window.
Sex hat.
Like a little fucking... As a friend of mine once described it, and I have no idea why she called it this, but it was just a funny thing. She goes, I'm fucking sat at the window here like a fucking pregnant cat. So I don't know why I never asked her to explain that phrase, but ever since I've always used it. Like if someone's looking out the window, I go, looking out the window like a pregnant cat, right?
I don't know what that means.
No, I don't know. I might text her later. I haven't seen her for a few years and just say...
Maybe it's because pregnant cats don't get to go out and about doing cat stuff if they're like heavily pregnant and they're missing out on it. Think that's where it is?
Yeah, I might text her live on air and see if she gets back to me. But anyway, he used to look out the window like a pregnant cat. and wait for his taxi to arrive. And I just always found the idea of anyone looking out the window, especially a first floor window, really funny. It's just an odd... it's a fucking neurotic thing to do, isn't it?
The angle of elevation makes it funny.
So you remember one of the classic Raggedy Ann stories was when our house was undergoing some renovation, and we stayed at my mother-in-law's for a couple of weeks, but I had to drive back every day to drop the kids at school, and I pulled up outside the house just to check up on things, and it was around it must have been 2016, because the Brexit election was coming up, but so too was there was some local elections, and Raggedy Ann in her front garden had an enormous vote leave poster, and next to it she had an enormous vote Conservative placard, right? And it was so huge, these two things next to each other, that I just thought, even taking the partisanship out of it, right, like that I'm on a different side in both those arguments, it's just funny. Do you know what I mean? If I'd had a massive vote, if I'd had a massive vote Remain next to a massive vote Labour placard, I would have acknowledged that was funny too, because it's sort of there's an aggressiveness about it. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, right, I'm fucking taking a photo of that to send to my good wife, right? Because it's just a funny part of the legend of Raggedy Ann. And I held my phone up, and then I just heard, within a second of me holding my phone up, a second of me pointing the phone, bang, 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 like mad, like machine gun banging. And my eyes went up, and she was at her first floor front window. Yeah. And I'm not joking, she must have been waiting to see. Yeah. She must have, not necessarily for me, but she must be one of those people, like a local rat bag. Remember that brilliant character in Viz, Meddlesome Rat Bag? Yeah. She's basically a meddlesome rat bag who spends a good few hours every morning sat at her front window waiting for someone to irritate her in some way. She caught me red fucking handed, and I pretended that I was just looking at a thing on my phone. What is it, Raggedy Ann? I'm not taking pictures of your political communications to mock you to my wife. I'm just looking at a pretty picture. I have to hold the phone up at this level. Goodbye. Have a lovely day, Raggedy Ann. I ran up and probably jumped out of my fucking skin, mate. It reminded me of that. What's that fairy tale what's the fairy tale where there's a couple and they're really hungry, and so they climb into someone else's garden to nick some veg or something that's growing in their garden, and it's a witch's garden. And the witch comes out and goes, "Oi, what's all this? You're nicking fucking veg out of my vegetable patch, or it's a herb or something." And the man goes, "I'm really sorry. It's just my wife's pregnant and we're really skint." And so the witch goes, "Okay, no problem. But I'm afraid the only way I'm going to let you off the hook is if you let me have the child when it's born."
Fucking hell.
And the dad goes, "Yeah, all right, deal."
Fair enough.
He's thinking, win-win. I get the food and I get to get rid of this dependent who's going to be a fucking strain on me with the state of my finances.
No, you're right. Brilliant.
Yeah, I can't. That's quite a famous one. But with a lot of fairy tales, the version which might be from a Disney film, is different from the original text.
The original, which is always more
by the brothers Grimm.
But it was Grimm that made most of the fairy tales in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Raggedy Ann probably is a modern witch.
I would say so.
Suppose.
I mean, when she appeared behind me the other day, when I was putting something into the boot of the car, and she does have a tendency to appear silently.
Just, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then she's just there in her woolly hat and her rucksack. And you just she's her look is very Nuts in May.
Yeah.
But imagine that, but much older and scarier. But the style.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Wow. Have you ever been in a house?
No, I've seen in it.
Right.
I've peered into it. I've done some peering.
I'm going to do some peering now. She's out. I know she's out.
I'm going to peer at you. No, I don't. I kind of don't want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know what you might see.
She's got a son who's a nice lad, and he is an expert trumpeter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think he's like a high-level trumpeter. I think he's gone off to uni now, but he's a lad, and we used to, and that was the only good thing to come out of the house. I'd hear him trumpeting away. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah. Did you not have a trumpeter come round to yours that time?
Yeah, he did actually. So there's a lot of trumpet action around my street.
Trumpet-heavy area. Yeah,
it is.
It's interesting, that.
I mean, it's interesting because you'd usually associate brass with the north of England, and here I am down in the south. Yeah. I mean, I assume up north, especially in Yorkshire and Lancashire, there's just every street's full of trumpeters and trombonists in it, and tuba players.
Yeah. We're just used to it now.
Jalapeño.
Anyway, let's get back to this Melchester thing, because World Cup's on in half an hour.
So, it's Rapunzel, by the way. It's Rapunzel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of Rapunzel.
And she goes, right, give me the baby, and then she gets the baby and she locks it up in a big tower.
Puts it in a tower.
Yeah.
And then Rapunzel grows her hair.
We'll deep dive Rapunzel one day.
Deep dive worthy, I'd say, yeah.
Well, Tangled is a fantastic version of it. Have you ever seen Tangled? It's the Disney version from a few years ago. Really good. But I suspect, that's very sort of modern, funny humour. I suspect the original is going to be more deep diveable for us.
Oh, I think so, in the same style that Rumpelstiltskin was.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anyone stamping their foot through the floor.
And then fucking killing themselves with a spike of wood through the foot. Yeah,
that's not going to happen on Disney. So, anyway, it's Rob Richards, and he's signing autographs. And Roy's thinking, Rob Richards, a crowd of fans have nailed him to sign his autograph, including Trevor Brinston, in italics, and his mob. It won't do young Rob's image any good to be identified with that lot. Well, he's right. Rob's treading on delicate ground here. He could find himself... was there a footballer who used to hang out with hooligans? Am I just imagining that?
There's been a few. At West Ham... there is especially with the old the lads from the 80s, there's a lot of cross fertilization, let's say.
Yeah.
In the same pubs.
The ones that come up through the ranks, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get too sidetracked if we can. Rob's happily signing autographs. Trevor Brinston had been a thorn in Roy's flesh. It says, okay, a thorn in Roy's flesh ever since he had been forced to ban him from Rovers home games in the 1981-82 season. Although, to be fair, Brinston was one of the suspects in the murder, wasn't he? The attempted murder, rather. So, Brinston's a big negative influence.
Yeah, and he should have had a lifetime ban and possibly a custodial sentence for the time they all charged onto the fucking golf course. When Blackie and Roy and their wives were enjoying a lovely couples round of golf. Yeah.
Lovely outdoor foursome. Trevor says, we're getting up a petition to get you back in the team, Rob. A petition. Fuck me. We've covered this already, the petition, haven't we? It was in the last one.
Petitions.
Complete worthlessness of the petition.
Petitions are shit, whatever they're fucking directed at. No petition ever works. You look on Twitter now and there'll be one of your liberal mates trying to get you to sign a petition, probably against this new Public Order Act, right? Which, don't get me wrong, I'm against. But lads, the petition will not work. Because the politicians actually love it when you do a petition, because it means that the illusion of democracy and you having a choice and freedom of speech is maintained while they just get on doing whatever the fuck they want. And they go, we will look at it and we'll do a question about this in the House. And then they all just go back to the bar together and piss themselves laughing at the very idea that we little people would have any influence on their decision making.
Petitions are Lampard wallpaper. That's what they are.
They fucking are. I bet Lampard does have a petition. This is my petition room. Please step inside. As you can see, I have wallpapered it with every petition I have ever started, many of which have been successful and have garnered over 1,000 signatures.
This is an impressive petition that he's unfurled. If you look at the top of it there,
Yeah.
It's rolled up, but it's pretty thick, so it's a big one. He says, we're getting up a petition to get you back in the team, Rob. We've collected 500 signatures already. 500.
Oh, yeah.
How many fucking fans get into Melchester, you reckon? 50,000?
Yeah, it's massive, Mel Park.
Easy.
Yeah.
And they've got 500 signatures on their shitty petition.
Pathetic.
Fuck off.
Yeah, give that to fucking Roy. Oh, yeah, 500 cunts want to fucking tell me to pick in my team, do they? Fucking great. Here, I'll watch this. And then Roy literally pulls down his tracksuit bottoms and wipes his ass with it in front of Trevor Brinston. There you go. Then screws it in a ball and throws it back in his face.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you'd handed me a toilet roll there.
Oh, this is convenient, because I just curled one out upstairs and there weren't quite enough fucking toilet paper sheets left for me to finish the job. So I reckon I've calculated that I do need a one last wipe. Here we go.
And Rob Richards says he's a bit stunned by this. He says, thanks a lot, lads. He's like, what the fuck? Then Brinsden spotted Roy at the window. And Brinsden shouts up at Roy. Roy's now got the window wide open for some reason. You know. Maybe so we can listen to what's going on. Call yourself a manager, Race. What boss would leave his top goal scorer on the sidelines? And then the one next to him, who's bald apart from a red Mohican, shouts, you've got to bring him back. Boo!
Fuck off, cunts. Hang on. Hey, all of you, wait there 1 sec. No, wait up. I've got something for you. Goes off, takes a fucking piss in a coffee mug. Comes out and goes, here you go, cunts. Splash.
Hey, put that in your petition.
TTFN, see you Saturday at the game.
If we let you in.
Well, you'll be paying money to watch me play a fucking child sport, you daft cunts. Then he just pulls the curtains. Oh, God. Fucking hell. Look at his face. He's looking all pensive as he looks at them. It says Roy had dropped the young striker because of his selfish attitude. And, he's narrowed his eyes. He looks fucked off, doesn't he?
Well, he's back at Melchester and he's balls deep in problems again. Everywhere he goes, problems.
I might pack this whole fucking thing in. Walford, Melchester. And one thing I've learned over the course of last year is that a cunt is a cunt wherever you go. And there's fucking loads of them.
I've been doing this job for 20 years. I've aged about 5 years in it. How the fuck that works, I don't know. I can just pack it in tomorrow.
I only got into it for the fanny. And the amount I've fucking managed to clock up over the last 20 years, I mean, no man could want for more. I reckon I could probably go the rest of my life without a single bit of fanny and still be satisfied. No, actually, that's bollocks. There must be something else I can turn my hand to. Apparently, plumbers get a lot of it. Maybe I'll start retraining as that.
He's thinking, thanks to the injury situation, he'll have to play against Rotherton. And I suppose Mr. Brinsden will regard that as some kind of victory. Well, it's up to you, innit, Roy? Don't leave him out. Play one up top yourself. The following day, as the Rovers travel north to Rotherton, and Roy is sitting next to Rob on the bus, they're going past some industrial chimneys. They've got lots of smoke pumping out of them, which suggests they're in the north, I think. And Roy's saying to Rob, to be quite frank with you, Rob, you're only in the side because of the injuries to Kenny Logan and Glenn Ritchie, so make the most of the opportunity.
Because it won't fucking last. Brilliant.
I'm not going to make any attempt to encourage you.
I'll be honest, I don't like you. I think you're a fucking fraud. You come in here with that stupid fucking haircut that you've clearly copied off of me, right?
I thought I'd go further. I despise you, Rob.
I despise you to your very core. But I do not want you to interpret that as meaning I spend any time whatsoever thinking about you. I do not.
Having said that, I want you to go out and express yourself.
Do your best. And most of all, Rob, enjoy yourself.
It is, after all, a children's game.
It's a game. Just go out there and enjoy yourself. Try to express yourself. Anyway, see you, cunt. I wish you have a good game, but ultimately, I wish you're dead. I wish death upon you.
At this earliest opportunity where it looks like we've got this game in the bag, I will be substituting you. I need you to know that.
Even if I've already used the sub, I will bring you off and happily play with one fewer men.
He gives him more advice. He says, apart from scoring goals, which is your job, I want to see you creating chances for the other, in bold, other forwards with unselfish running off the ball.
If you can fucking imagine for 1 second doing anything that isn't for the fucking benefit and furtherment of you, Rob fucking Richards.
How old do you think Rob looks there?
What, on the coach?
Yeah.
I reckon he looks in his sort of mid-30s, but I reckon he's supposed to be like 18.
He's 18.
Yeah.
Over the page. As the Rovers ran out in change strip on a Wednesday night. Oh, I've never seen him in the change strip before.
No, they never wear that. Yeah.
It's similar to Liverpool's change strip of the time, which was the white shirt with the red V-neck.
Yeah, and it
collar.
actually still creates a clash anyway, because they're playing a team who are basically an Arsenal home strip. It still would be confusing to me.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in the different colours.
Noted. Noted for future reference in case I'm ever in a colour clash situation with Sam.
I must say red and white are a clash, but all right. We're all different. As Rovers ran out in change strip on Wednesday night, Roy's thinking to himself, oh no, it's Rob Richards, sorry, because they look the same. Rob Richards is thinking there's only one way to win back a permanent place in the side. Score so many goals, Roy won't ignore me. No, Rob, that's the opposite of what he's told you to do. I'll score all the goals in the world.
And the only way I can achieve that is to shoot every single time I get the ball, no matter where I am or where my teammates are stood. When you said so... Go on.
It's only Rotherton. I'll fill my boots here.
You saw... when you said so many goals, it reminds me of that classic TalkSport call to Mickey Quinn.
Yeah.
It's got so many goals. He starts crying, doesn't he?
He does.
If you haven't heard that, listen to it, lads.
Find it. It's on YouTube.
Go on YouTube. You can hear a compilation of all the best calls on TalkSport ever. Although they never involve what I believe to be the greatest call ever, which was our one when it was when we set up a Paul Scholes versus Reg Varney poll for the listeners, which I think, I can't remember the name of the fella, but I think that was the best call ever. But you've got so many goals. You've got the Scottish guy who wants Anton Niemi, the Icelandic keeper, to play for Scotland, and you've got the best one of all, which is Alan Brazil asking Gary Bushell how Bob Monkhouse's health is now, and Gary Bushell having to tell him that he died a year ago. That's my number one favourite.
Brazil says something like, if you listed Bob, all the best, or something like that. After that,
he told of his death. But he's dead. And Mike Parry tries to cover for him, going, no, I think he meant it in a different way there, Gary.
Right, tell you what, we'll leave it there because this match is about to start. We're still only halfway through the fucking story, and there's a lovely bonus treat in this issue as well coming. So this is going to be a 3-episode issue.
Love it.
Get a load of that.
Yeah.
And we'll put it out later on today because it's double header because we owe you one on the IFS. So we'll be back with a bit more later on. Thank you very much and goodbye.
All the best.